Good evening, everyone. I would like to begin this meeting today, May 21st, 2019, at 6:36 p.m.
Opening statement, Mayor.
Yes, please.
Let the minutes reflect that adequate notice of the holding of this regular meeting of the Howell Township Council was provided for in the following manner: by the posting of a copy of said notice upon the bulletin board in the Township Municipal Building on January 3, 2019, by the copy of said notice to the Tri-Town News and Star Ledger for information and publication on January 3, 2019, by the filing of a copy of said form of notice in the Township Clerk's Office on January 3, 2019. The public will be allowed to attend and will be allowed to participate pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Law. The public is reminded that civility and decorum will be maintained during the meeting. Any contracts awarded at this meeting or between now and the next meeting will be required to comply with the requirements of Public Law 1975, Chapter 127. In accordance with the Fire Prevention Code, be advised that this facility is designed with emergency exits for your safety. Upon exiting the meeting room, they are to your left and to your right. Furthermore, smoking is not permitted in the municipal building. Please take note that this meeting is being videotaped for possible future broadcast on Howell Television. Roll call, Mr. Bonovich.
Present.
Ms. Richmond.
Present.
Mr. Russo.
Here.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell.
Here.
Mayor Berger.
Present. Is there any reason to go into executive this evening?
Yes, Mayor, we have items to discuss under contract negotiations, litigation, and personnel.
Okay. So at this time, I would like to accept a motion to go into executive.
I'll make a motion to go into executive.
Second that motion?
Whereas the governing body of the Township of Howell is authorized pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12 to exclude the public from that portion of the meeting for purposes of discussing specific matters as permitted by NJSA 10:4-12. Whereas the governing body of the Township of Howell intends to discuss certain matters which are deemed confidential pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12. Whereas at this time, the governing body of the Township of Howell cannot determine the time when a discussion to be held in executive session will be made public, but will disclose the minutes of executive session when the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Now therefore be it resolved by the governing body of the Township of Howell that this meeting shall be adjourned to an executive session, and the public will be excluded in order that the governing body of the Township of Howell may discuss the items previously listed. And upon reconvening this public meeting, the presiding officer will announce, if possible, the time when and the circumstance under which a discussion conducted in executive session will be disclosed to the public. Roll call, Mr. Bonovich.
Yes.
Ms. Richmond.
Yes.
Mr. Russo.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell.
Yes.
Mayor Berger.
Yes. Welcome to our council meeting, May 21, 2019. I would like to call the meeting to order at 8:16.
Okay, we're going to adjourn or reconfirm our meeting. Mayor, I just wanted to bring to your attention a change on the agenda. The first item of business would be 10.10, Salary Ordinance, Township Manager.
Yes.
And do you have your sheet that you're going to read from for 10.10?
I do.
Excellent.
Just let me start her up.
Why don't I see that on here?
And 10.
And before we start, we're going to just wait for Councilman Russo
Yes.
to come to the dais.
Oh, 10.10.
Did you want us to go through the proclamations all the way to the?
I thought we were going to change the order
I
on the
did,
agenda.
okay.
Okay, just so we're clear.
I'm just,
What, hon?
do we know? Councilman, could you
Right. What's the status?
Yeah.
check status?
Joe went in the back to get him.
Oh, Joe did? What's the first one, Penny? 10 point what?
10.10?
10.10 Salary Ordinance,
Got it.
Township Manager.
What happened? While we're waiting, a couple of the council went to middle school this past week, and we went to the 8th grade science class. I have to say, this was one of the most amazing groups of young people. The energy in the room and their thought process on how they believe that they can assist in decreasing plastics destroying our waterways. I believe didn't we got an honorable mention, yes? I think
Yes, they got
you got the honorable mention? So I'm gonna, in the essence of time, because I know that everybody is here, while we're waiting for councilmen, I think what we could do is, I'm gonna call the names out. If everybody, when I call your name, when you come up, one of the council will present you with your certificate, and then we could get a really nice photo for your parents. And hopefully then we can begin the next portion of the meeting. So is everybody ready? Let's go down there and make it easy.
Excuse you.
Jim, I heard it from here. What's going on?
Sorry. Couldn't help myself.
Tahira Ali. Ryan Askin. Matthew Cedar. Nicholas Cleffy. Samuel Furtow. Nicholas Kahn. I'm going to butcher this name, and I am sorry. I think I should just spell it. I'll spell your first name. A-Y-U-S-H-I. Ayushi. Ayushi. Thank you. And I'm sorry. Jaden Latham. Jack Merrick. Daniel Mikovic. Mihosh. Oh my God, that was bad on me.
That was close.
Hannah Morin. Dante Marisi. Jacob Muirhead. Oh yeah. Caleb Musto. Lauren Nagy. Ryan O'Rourke. Sebastian Ortega. Mindy Preston. Samuel Rodriguez. Richard Shenton. Thomas Vella.
Mayor, do you want them to move over this way or leave them where they are?
However,
Leave them where they are.
I'll take all the kids who are here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. They're awesome. Maybe we could all see. I miss you too. Let's all see again.
Parents, before you leave, you should be very, very proud of the accomplishments of this group of children. Outstanding.
Are you going to finish on with the,
Let's keep going. Let's keep going until we're ready to. Let's keep going until.
The raspy voice I got? Oof.
How did she have it?
yeah, she said we're going until Tony comes out.
Let's start with the first one, brain cancer. At this point, we have some additional proclamations which we would like to share with you today. The first one is the Brain Cancer Awareness Month for May 2019. Whereas brain tumors do not discriminate, primary brain tumors, those that begin in the brain and tend to stay in the brain, occur in people of all ages, but are statistically more frequent in children and older adults. Whereas brain tumors are the second leading cause of cancer-related deaths in children under the age of 20. Second leading cause of cancer-related death in male, age 20 to 39. Fifth leading cause of cancer-related death in female from ages 20 to 39. Each year, approximately 40,000 people in the United States are diagnosed with primary brain tumor. The diagnosis of a brain tumor is the start of life-altering journey that no one expects to take. This can involve surgery, extensive treatment, obvious side effects, as well as feelings of fear and uncertainty. Doctors and scientists are working hard and making strides in their mission, advancing the understanding and the treatment of brain tumors with the goals of improving, extending, and ultimately saving lives of those impacted by a brain tumor. Therefore, let it be resolved that I, Teresa Berger, Mayor of Howell Township, on behalf of the Township Committee, do hereby proclaim the month of 2019 Brain Cancer Awareness Month. Before I pass this on to the National Gun Violence, which is the next on the agenda, you know, there is a huge wave in Howell, Be Like Jake. And it's Be Like Jake in the schools this week. So I got this a little late. I was supposed to wear gray, and I'm really sorry I didn't wear gray. But because we're discussing brain cancer awareness, if you do see the foundation and you are inclined to donate to that foundation, I think that that would be a wonderful idea. And just remember that at the schools, if you're going to go in and visit, maybe you could wear something gray for that. So thank you. National Gun Violence?
Proclamation. National Gun Violence Awareness Day, June 7th, 2019. Whereas every day, 100 Americans are killed by gun violence, and on average, there are nearly 13,000 gun homicides every year. Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. Whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is a mayor's highest responsibility. And whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. Whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. Whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton, a teenager who marched in President Obama's second inaugural parade, was tragically shot and killed just a week later, should now be celebrating her 22nd birthday. And whereas to help honor Hadia, the 100 Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who are injured by shootings every day, a national coalition of organizations has designated June 7th, the first Friday in June in 2019, as the 5th National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 7th to help raise awareness about gun violence. Whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help our children safe. Now therefore, Teresa Berger, Mayor of the Township of Howell, do hereby proclaim June 7, 2019 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Township of Howell and encourage all citizens to support efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. May 21st, signed May 21st, 2019, Mayor Teresa Berger.
Relay for Life?
Mayor, we do have representatives from the National Gun Violence Awareness Day in our audience.
Did you want to? Oh, absolutely, please. That was Jim, so it's all good.
Just
Thank you, Mayor Berger and council members. My name is Janice Iwanek. I'm a Howell resident, and I'm also a member of the Monmouth County Moms Demand Action.
Oh, they
You got to
can't.
get it closer to your, when you speak.
That's why you're off.
Doesn't look like there's a light on. On the side, there's a little gray button.
The back of it.
There you go, it's on.
It's on now.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Do I start over? Okay, thank you, Mayor Berger and council members. I'm Janice Iwanek, member of Moms Demand Action, the Monmouth County chapter, and a resident of Howell Township for 37 years. Wonderful, safe community. Thank you to all of our council members and police department and everything. Moms Demand Action grew after this shooting in 2012 from the Newtown School up in Connecticut. And it's a grassroots, nonpartisan organization that its main goal is basically to, while supporting the rights of law-abiding citizens to own firearms, their goal is to reduce the 36,000 deaths every year through sensible legislation, raising awareness, and by promoting gun safety. I sincerely thank you for announcing this proclamation for National Gun Violence Awareness Day in June, and I invite everyone that agrees with this, that we can do more to save more lives, to wear orange on June 7th and to help spread the word about the importance of remembering and honoring all of the victims. We also invite you and families to attend our Community Day of Action, Saturday, June 8th, from 11 to 2 at Liberty Park Community Garden in Neptune Township. Thank you very much, and could we possibly get a photo?
Oh, absolutely.
We would love a photo
Absolutely.
because this is really it's very much like
The proclamation?
Moms Against Drunk Driving. It's really super important that we join up. What we're doing is we're joining all the communities. We have by tomorrow probably 40 towns in Monmouth County that have had a proclamation for the gun violence.
You got us all going? Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Do you want to read the next proclamation? Was that relay?
Relay. We do have representatives, I do believe, in the audience. Yeah, they are.
So come on up, come on, let's go down and do it, I mean.
You want to read down there?
Yeah, you just read it. You can read their proclamation up front if you want. It's up to you.
Is there anybody here for the brain awareness?
I don't believe so.
No? Okay. I'm gonna leave this here.
Okay, good, we'll get it. We'll get it out.
Proclamation Relay for Life 2019. Whereas Relay for Life is a life-changing event that helps communities across the globe celebrate the lives of people who have battled cancer, remembered loved ones lost, and fight back against the disease. And whereas Relay for Life events bring the community together to take up the fight to eliminate cancer as a major health threat. And whereas Relay for Life is staffed and coordinated by volunteers in more than 5,200 communities and 27 countries. Volunteers give their time and effort because they believe it is time to take action against cancer. And whereas Howell High School students will hold their annual Relay for Life on May 31st through June 1, 2019 to raise money for the fight against cancer, with a goal of raising $165,000 this year for the American Cancer Society. Now, therefore, the Township Council of the Township of Howell does hereby salute those who make Howell High School's Relay for Life event possible for their efforts in promoting awareness and raising funds that support the mission to save lives and diminish suffering. Signed May 21st, 2019, Mayor Teresa Berger.
Great job, really.
Minutes? Let's approve the minutes. Want to do the minutes?
Yes, we're gonna, we do have one more, the Blue Moon Cruisers. And they
Oh,
are-
who has that? Okay.
Are there representatives here? Representatives from Blue Moon Cruisers are here, correct? Yes, they are.
Here we go again. Come on.
That would be another now.
Right.
Thank you.
What, 6 each way? You know, I've been doing this for 20 years.
Okay. Office of the Mayor Proclamation, the Blue Moon Cruisers, Classic Car Club of Howell. Whereas what began in 2006 as a very casual weekly car cruise of 20 to 30 vehicles has developed into one of the most popular cruise nights in the state, and it is not uncommon to have over 200 cars in attendance on a Saturday night. And whereas in 2008, the Blue Moon Cruisers raised $1,600 in one night at their annual Halloween cruise for the Brennan Stands Alone Foundation to assist members of the armed forces who were injured in the line of duty, which was founded by U.S. Army First Lieutenant Brian Brennan, a resident of Howell. And whereas also in 2008, the club was recognized by the State Senate and General Assembly for their selfless efforts on behalf of the community at large. And whereas in 2009, the club raised approximately $500 in one night to help a Howell family who lost their home to a tragic fire. And whereas in 2013, the Blue Moon Cruisers were featured in Hemmings Classic Car magazine for turning their annual Halloween cruise into an emergency fundraiser just days after Hurricane Sandy, raising $1,849 for the Howell Food Pantry. And whereas since 2006, the Blue Moon Cruisers Classic Car Club of Howell, New Jersey, has raised over $80,000 for charity. The club, according to the Howell Food Pantry, is their leading cash contributor. Now, therefore, on behalf of the mayor and the entire governing body, we do hereby honor the Blue Moon Cruiser Classic Car Club of Howell for their tremendous altruistic efforts on behalf of our community. May 21st, 2019, Mayor Teresa Berger. Thank you, gentlemen.
Absolutely. On behalf of the Blue Moon Cruisers, I'd like to thank the council. I'd like to thank the Howell Food Pantry, who is represented here tonight, and also the Howell Senior Center, who is represented here tonight, along with the owner of Chick-fil-A, who has graciously allowed us to use their facility and parking area for our ongoing efforts to assist and to donate to the Howell Food Pantry. We started out with my son, John Jr., and the original owner of Chick-fil-A. His name was Rick, and they started the whole club on their own about a year before we came into existence. And then, along with my co-founder, Tom Inguasani, we founded the Blue Moon Cruisers, and we've been going along since then with these gracious individuals who volunteer their time and efforts to make the cruises the success they are. Okay, while I have the Howell Food Pantry representative here and the Howell Senior Center here, we just had our last cruise this past Saturday, and we raised an additional $417 for the Howell Food Pantry. If you'd like to come up and get the check. And I have a $50 check for the Howell Senior Center, who we support their Knitting for the Needy program. Thank you very much.
Mayor, can I just say something? What a great community, and what a great group of individuals. And we brought Chick-fil-A waffle fried chips for everybody.
Thank you so much. All right, gentlemen, you want to take a picture?
Oh, yeah. Go get it.
Squeeze together.
Barbara, Alexis is hungry. She wants fries. This girl needs some dinner. She needs to eat.
If I may say. If I may.
Can he call in from the bathroom?
To the minutes. We're going to go back to the minutes. Mayor, we're going to just backtrack a little bit to item number 5, acceptance of minutes of previous meeting, May 7, 2019.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Everybody in the back,
Take your waffle chips.
don't be taking all.
Leave us some.
They really have food back there? They really have food back there. Everybody's all excited.
Thank you, Penny.
They really do. They really have food. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Go get food for us.
Mayor, would you like a motion for May 7th minutes, 2018? I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Thank you. I'd like a second.
I'd like to second.
I'd like to take a roll call. Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
I abstain. I was not at the meeting. Do we have any reports from
Yes, Mayor, I
our
have
professionals?
a few quick items to address. The CDBG grant hearing that was originally scheduled for tonight is being rescheduled for our next meeting on June 11th. There was an error with the Asbury Park Press with regard to the advertising of that. Number 2, the township is partnering with the Howell Chamber of Commerce to host a business expo. It is scheduled for Tuesday, July 16th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. And I would ask that people watch our website and social media as we'll be rolling out flyers in the very near future.
I'm sorry, the date and time again?
The date is Tuesday, July 16th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. That's the same as one of our meeting nights. And we'll be posting more information as it comes available.
So we don't know where it's being it's going to be?
It's most likely being held at the former Barnes & Noble location.
Okay.
And then lastly, just to give a brief overview, but it's still in discussions, we have been working with the Board of Education about relocating their office space to here at Town Hall instead of their current facility where the township owns the building. There's still negotiations ongoing with that, so there's limited information available at this time.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Are there any other reports?
Mayor, a couple quick things from my point of view. I just want to let you know we are out to bid with the improvements for Casino Drive, which is the piece between Peskin and West Farms Road for repaving. So that was the 2017 and 2018 CDBG grant funded project. We received clearance about a month ago and we're out to bid now. So that's hopefully going to be awarded at the June 11th council meeting. And then another just tidbit, we received a grant award from the DEP for the Barnegat Bay watershed in conjunction with the Brick Township Municipal Utilities Authority. So we received just over $400,000 to potentially work on detention basin problems we have in town. So I just spoke to the BTMUA last week, and we'll be getting together and formulating a plan. We already have some things identified, but they will supplement that with some additional reports and the like. So those are the only things I have tonight.
Thank you, Brian. I'm sorry. And Jim. So I believe at this point, we should go down the agenda as normal, not moving up the 2 items. So I think we could go back to the normal agenda, in normal order. So if what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. So at this point, I would like to open this portion of the meeting for hearing of citizens. Now, I just want to just put it out there. We want to allow everybody who wants to speak to come up and speak. So there is a 5-minute rule. One of our professionals will let us know when the 3 minutes is up, and then you can complete your thought in that 2 minutes. If by chance you have more that you want to talk about, you can go back and come back again. But the problem is that there are some people that are sitting here and waiting 3 hours to speak. while other people are up there for a good 15 minutes, and it's just not fair to everybody in the audience. And so we're just going to be monitoring that a little bit more closely. So, at that point then, I would like to open this portion for hearing of public citizens and public comment.
Mayor, the clipboard's in front of you. I brought it up when you stepped in.
Didn't even see it. Thank you. Barbara Dixell.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I apologize for interrupting, but I just wanted to notify council that Councilman Russo is ill right now and has had to excuse himself from the meeting, so he won't be here for the rest of the night.
So noted.
Lights are very dim. Good evening.
Barbara,
Mayor.
is that a mirror or
No,
a magnifying glass?
I have a little macular degeneration and I'm having a lot of trouble.
Trust me, I need the same thing. I'm not complaining. I just want to know where you got it.
Borders
Okay,
in Point Pleasant.
okay.
It's 30 whatever, I have a little macular degeneration, I'm in a lot of trouble, and I had a pair of glasses made, they weren't made right, they have to be made again. You know, what can I tell you?
I get it.
Anyway, okay, the ordinances are gonna be done later, your manager's thing is gonna be done later. We get called up again, correct? The ordinance on.
That is correct. We went back to, we are following
We
the
moved it
agenda in the
back.
order in which you
All right.
see it.
All right, Barbara Dixell, good evening, Mayor and Council. Barbara Dixell, 62A Piazza Vittoria, speaking for Barbara Dixell and nobody else. May 8th, 2019, to the Honorable Philip Murphy, Governor, State of New Jersey, State House, CN 001, Trenton, New Jersey, regarding Howell Township Council meeting Tuesday, May 7th, 2019, Resolution 9A.27, page 6 on the agenda. Dear Governor Murphy, I am sending you a copy of the final agenda from the Howell Township Council meeting held last night in the Municipal Building, 4567 Route 9 North, New Jersey, Howell, New Jersey. Please read please read 9A.27 on page 6. I'm also sending you a copy of the actual resolution that the council voted on to pass. I spoke on the resolution and many others on the hearing of citizens for the agenda items that is held at the start of every meeting. Governor Murphy, when you read the resolution, you will see that Howell Township has total disrespect for your order declaring the state of New Jersey a sanctuary state. Furthermore, the council stated and voted on making it official that Howell Township will never be a sanctuary city or sanctuary state. It is my opinion that the council has zero respect for its residents and it's turning its back on them. Howell has a very diversified group of residents of all ethnic and religious backgrounds. I was livid in saying that Howell is leaving the residents wide open for the feds to knock on residents' doors, to drag people out of their homes if the feds think that someone has to be deported. We are not talking about illegal aliens crossing our borders. We are talking about law-abiding residents of Howell going about their business, daily business lives, making a living, making a living and caring for their families. It may be possible that some of these people may have questionable citizenship issues.
Excuse me,
However,
Mayor, 3 minutes?
Fine, I'm almost done.
Thank you.
It is my opinion that the Howell Township Council does not have the right to vote to go against its residents and an order declared directly by the governor of the state of New Jersey. stating that the state of New Jersey is a sanctuary state to protect its residents. It is my opinion that the Howell Township Council needs to be dealt with directly from the governor's office. I understand that New Jersey is a home rule state and that townships can pass their own laws. However, it is further my opinion that the Howell Township Council is breaking the law that was set down by the governor. This is the United States of America. What is going on in Howell? Please respond to this letter. Thank you. Respectfully, Barbara Dixell, Howell Township resident. Thank you. That was sent with everything to the governor's office. Hopefully he'll act on it.
Thank you. Joan Osborne?
Joan Osborne, 28 Bronia Street. Are you taking comments on the budget now, or would that be a separate topic later?
The hearing on the budget was held at the last meeting. If you have comments on it, you can make them now, but the hearing is over.
Okay, so will any
Comments
questions
only.
be answered?
No, comments
Okay.
only.
All right, well, I just wanted to, based on my review of the costs that are included in our budget that go for medical coverage, it appears that, and I wanted it to be known to anyone who might be viewing this or reviewing the budget, that approximately 8% of our municipal budget that we pay, that's not, funds from the state, is going to the cost of medical coverage for employees, which I think is a rather large amount. And I think it's part of a national problem of how insurance coverage, either through workers' compensation, through employee medical coverage, or automobile insurance coverage that are paid for by municipalities, all add up to a huge amount of a municipal budget. And, if there can be a way, and people should consider looking at ways to have this not be something that, is continually harming municipalities. Things that are being floated on the national level are single payer or Medicare for all. I think that would greatly help a lot of municipalities, including ours, because I believe that aside from the direct cost of the coverage that we're providing to employees, for employees who are under 65 when they leave or retire, we are probably also paying, as part of their pension benefits, additional costs for medical coverage. And so every time budgets come up every year and people are upset about the tax rates going up, a large portion of that is what we as citizens are paying for medical insurance for employees. And that's on top of what we're paying through our own jobs for medical coverage for ourselves. So it's just a national problem that I think, solutions are needed and people need to be aware of that. Thank you.
I wholeheartedly agree. Thank you. Are we ready to go to the resolutions?
Is that, we're done with the hearing of
Two names on the
citizens?
list. Okay.
Tina Smilek, 33 Charles Street, Howell. First,
Tina, before I start, is there anyone out there that wants to put their name on this list? I will bring it back.
First, the agenda was out by 2:30 today. Thank you for a little extra time today. I'd still like it around 12, but any little bit helps, and I really appreciate you doing that. So thank you. Question is, a couple meetings ago, we allocated $25,000 to review the tax collector's department due to resident and employee complaints. What is going on with that?
I would,
Mayor, I'll address that.
Please.
That contract was terminated. There was no money paid out for that. There was a performance issue with their ability to perform the contractual service, so there was an agreement just to terminate. but there was no cost to the township.
Okay, is somebody investigating the complaints that we were supposed to be following, that we were hiring them for to originally?
Can't really talk about that.
So the complaints, we're looking into the complaints, but I can't be any more specific
Yeah,
than that.
that's fine. I just want to make sure it just didn't, if there's a
It
problem.
has not slipped through the cracks.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Question on the budget is just, I've already put most of mine, you know my feelings on the budget. Akabi has a pilot program, and they haven't paid over the years. Are they now paying? Have they started paying yet on that pilot?
Lou?
Akabi, yes, I believe they have been billed, and if I'm not mistaken, they've paid the minimum that they have been billed. I can verify that information with the tax collector, and I can email you the response.
Oh, thank you. And BOE was on it because I saw the sign on the floor downstairs. Now, will we be selling the property that the BOE building is on? Will that be part of it if they're moving here?
Yes, that's part of the plan.
Excellent plan. Last thing on budget, last question. Will you be giving any direction to our professionals on what you want to see from the budget next year?
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but as I told Ms. Osborne, the hearing was last meeting. If you have comments on it, feel free to make them. But in terms of question and answer and engaging on budget issues, that was for the last meeting.
Okay. Okay, and last question, I don't know if you guys have gotten this, but I just want to bring it to your attention. There's a thing called the Township Council Meeting Protocol Policy, which covers the 5-minute rule, which covers all of that. And, just so you can see in there, you can extend time, council can extend time by 3-minute periods if they'd like to. But if you haven't gotten it, please ask your professionals for it and read through it just for some information. Thank you.
Thank you. Elaine Taylor?
Elaine Taylor, Maxim Southard Road in Howell. I'd like to respectfully request that Mayor and Council consider creating an ordinance for having a farmer's market so that we can have it for the full season. And that's it. Thank you.
Benjamin Novick? Have we gotten any information? I'm not quite sure who would have the answer, but have we received any information about the farmer's market in regards to, is it well attended? Is it, what are the pluses about and the negatives about it?
I have worked with Ms. Taylor for the past approximately year and some change on a farmer's market. I've given her some of the state publications, advised her on what the township would be looking for in terms of, properly run farmer's market. I'm still willing to work with them, but, this is not something that can happen in May for a June opening. We need to be working much earlier in the year to get this done. I'm happy to try and accomplish something for this season with her. It may not be as fulsome as perhaps they're hoping for, but I think we probably can get something done.
Oh, thank you.
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
real quick, just to add to Mr. Clark's comments, I met with Ms. Taylor last week in regard to a potential farmer's market. She currently has a new plan to hold a farmer's market on a piece of private property here, a piece of commercial property. So I think we discussed some of the requirements she would need to provide us. There is a flea market sale ordinance that we have, which there is currently another person that is using that to hold a farmer's market, actually in July and August, I believe. So that is an opportunity, but that is limited to 5 times per calendar year. So Ms. Taylor was looking for every weekend from now until, or from, let's say, Memorial Day till Labor Day type of event, which our ordinance does not allow. So she was going to work on a couple things with property owner information and parking and things like that, and come back to us, and hopefully we can allow her to start the farmer's market process almost like a trial period for maybe 5 times this year. And then if we do decide we want to change an ordinance or anything along that line, we can address that, over the summer for potentially next year.
I would like to see,
Excuse me, Madam Mayor, with due respect, you called me to the podium. I believe it's my turn to talk. You could discuss the farmer's market after the discussion.
so with all due respect, I was asking my professional team a question. So once I'm completed with that, I'll be more than happy to ask you to please continue.
Yeah.
But I just was waiting for that answer.
Okay.
So at this point, then, I guess I am.
Okay, thank you very much.
My absolute pleasure.
Yeah. With respect to the council, they had the student council here prior, and I addressed them also. There was no mention about Memorial Day or Memorial Day services. And with all your proclamations and awards and everything like that, I feel that Memorial Day should take precedent over everything else at the beginning of the meeting. I hate to say it, but we only see some politicians when they're running for election at our services. Other politicians, they're there for maybe the last 40 years, and I commend them on that. So I wish you would make note of Memorial Day and put it on the top of your agenda when you start your meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm not asking that question. Okay. Consent agenda?
All right. I'll make a motion to move 9A1 through 9A11.
May I have a second?
Second. Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Mr. Russo? Oh, I apologize. Sorry, I just was reading off my list. Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Motions.
My girlfriend made me. So
we ready?
happy, totally organized. We're totally good.
Do I have to
say
open
it.
it up first, or I do the motions that open up after each one? You do it at the motions, right? We'll open it after each one. 0-19-23, 10.2, vacate paper streets, Waterside Way, Timber Court, and Reservoir Run in Reservoir Woods. Sorry, that was a tongue twister. Come on. Ordinance number 0-19-23, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19, and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of this ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and is noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies are available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance, an ordinance of the Township of Howell vacating, extinguishing, and terminating the Township of Howell's interests in paper streets named Waterside Way, Timber Court, and Reservoir Run, as shown in final major subdivision plat entitled Final Plat, Amended Preliminary and, Final Major Subdivision, Reservoir Woods, dated October 15, 2013, prepared by Kurtz Engineering and recorded in the Monmouth County Clerk's Office on December 17, 2015, as case number 315-26.
I would like to open this to the public for discussion. There's seeing none. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that ordinance number, number
0-19-23.
Thank you. Be finally passed and adopted, and its notice of its passage and adoption be published in the May 4th, 2019 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
A second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-19-24, then 10.2, vacate various easements also in Reservoir Woods. Ordinance number 0-19-24, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19 and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of the publication of the ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and is noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted in the bulletin board on the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. An ordinance of the Township of Howell vacating, extinguishing, terminating, and forever eliminating certain easements set forth in a final plat amended, preliminary and final major subdivision, Reservoir Woods, dated October 15, 2013, prepared by Kurtz Engineering and recorded in the Monmouth County Clerk's Office, Middlesex Development Group, Inc.
I will open this portion of the meeting if someone would like to come up and speak. There seeing none, I'll close this portion and I will accept a motion.
I'll make a motion. Motion that ordinance number 0-19-24 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-19-25, 10.3, amend Chapter 139 fees, Article 17 in the land use. Ordinance number 0-1925, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19 and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of this ordinance is the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 and submitted, and is noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. An ordinance amending Chapter 139 fees, Article 17 land use, Sections 34 and 41, site plans and subdivisions and escrow amounts for professional services of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I would like to open up this portion for public comment. There seeing none, I'd like to close it and go to ordinance number 0- oh, we need a vote, sorry. I was on a roll.
I'll make the motion. I'll make the motion that ordinance number 0-19-25 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-1926, 10.4, amend Chapter 139 fees, Article 18, licenses and permits. Ordinance number 0-19-26, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19, and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of the ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and it is noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. An ordinance amending Chapter 139 fees, Article 18 licenses and permits miscellaneous, Section 50, subsection A, entitled Trailers and Portable Storage Containers of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I'll make a motion, oh, I'm sorry.
Public.
I'd like to open this section up to the public for discussion. There seeing none, I would like to close it.
A motion that ordinance number 01926 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the May 4th, 2019 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. So ordinance 27, oh no, that's the wrong one, sorry, continue.
No, I think you're right.
No, it's the engineers, right? So that's
Yeah, you're right.
27,
Mhm.
okay. 0-19-27, 10.5, 2019 salary ordinance for the Assistant Township Engineer. Ordinance of 0-19-27, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19, and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of the ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, as noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance, an ordinance setting forth and amending and supplementing the salary range schedule for the salaries of certain officers and employees of the Township of Howell.
I would like to open this, oh, may I have?
No, you're right.
I'd like to open this to the general public for discussion.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. All right, is this salary available to be told to us tonight?
Gentlemen?
Is this person going to get a salary plus a stipend, plus a bonus, or plus anything?
Well, this would be a contractual employee, so they would follow the Teamsters contract for any additional compensation. And this is just setting the salary range.
Okay, is this person going to get a salary plus additional compensation?
I can't answer that. It's in accordance with the contract.
Okay, may I remind all of you, we're getting a tax increase, and that we have, our budgets are tight, and remind all of you that you can stick to an original agreed-on salary without bonuses and stipends and everything else. Just think about us taxpayers who have to get stuck paying this. It's not fair. It's really not. Thank you.
Tina Smilek, 33 Charles Street. I just want to be clear, this is for a new hire, correct? Not a current employee?
It's a new hire for a replacement.
Okay.
Retirement.
Thank you.
I will close this portion.
Make the motion that ordinance number 0-19-27 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
I second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-19-28, 10.6. Amend Chapter 188 Land Use, Article 10 for the zoning map. Ordinance number 0-19-28, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19 and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of this ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and it is noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance, an ordinance amending Chapter 188 Land Use, Article 10 Zones, Section 66, subsection C, entitled Zone Map of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I would like to open this portion to the general public. I'll close the portion. May I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion. Motion that ordinance number 0-19-28 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance number 0-19-29, 10.7, amend Chapter 188, Land Use, Article 14, Residential Design Standards. Ordinance number 0-19-29, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19 and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of this ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of the 5/10/19 is submitted, and is noted that the copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. An ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 188, Land Use, Article 14, Residential Design Standards, Section 132, Sidewalks, and Section 135, Alternates to Curbs and Sidewalks in major subdivisions of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I would like to open this portion to the public. I will close this portion.
A motion that ordinance number 0-19-29 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the May 24th, 2019 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Ordinance 0-1930, 10.8, amend Chapter 188, Land Use, Article 25, Non-Residential Community Design Standards. Ordinance number 0-1930, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19 and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of this ordinance in the Asbury Park Press issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies were available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. An ordinance of the Township of Howell amending Chapter 188, Land Use, Article 25, Non-Residential Community Design Standards, Section 225, Streetscape Design Principles, Subsection G, Sidewalks, of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Howell.
I would like to open this portion to the general public for discussion. I'll close it.
I'd like to make a motion that ordinance number 0-19-30 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. 0-19-31, 10.9, 2019 assessment of burger deed from MCF to Howell, sale and purchase of real property on Preventorium Road. Sorry. Ordinance number 0-1931, introduced and passed on first reading on 5/7/19, and published according to law, is now being taken up for further consideration and public hearing. Affidavit of publication of the ordinance in the APP issue of 5/10/19 is submitted, and noted that a copy of the ordinance has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and that copies are available to the general public upon request.
Title of ordinance. Ordinance authorizing the acquisition of lands from Monmouth Conservation Foundation for open space in the Township of Howell, known as Block 51.01, Lot 22, Burger Wynn property, approximately 13.5 acres on Preventorium Road.
I would like to open this portion to the general public. I'll close this section.
I'd like to make a motion. Motion that ordinance number 0-19-31 be finally passed and adopted, and that notice of its passage and adoption be published in the 5/24/19 issue of the Asbury Park Press by reference to its title only.
Second.
Mayor, before we take the vote, I just wanted to, I'm sure you know already, but you can't vote on this one.
Yes, thank you.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
I abstain. What are we doing with the next?
Can I ask Joe if it's possible, with Councilman Russo unavailable? I know he had some questions. We had discussed it a little bit today. Would it be okay if we table this for the next meeting?
Yes, it's a procedural motion, so you can make it, without having to open it up for hearing, you can make a motion to table
Is that
until...
okay?
I was going to make a motion myself.
Oh, okay, good.
As well.
I didn't mean to beat you to the
No,
punch,
it's
but I was...
it's a big issue. It's been going on for months, and
Yeah, I wish
everyone-
we could resolve it, but
Everyone should be here.
thank you, I agree.
So then I'm going to move forward with 01932?
Just-
No, I'm waiting for my motion.
We need a motion to table in a second.
Can I make a motion to table this ordinance?
Okay, second?
A second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
No.
Mayor Berger?
Yes.
Okay.
Ordinance 01932, 11.1. Assignment of Van Schoik deed from MCF to Howell, sale and purchase of real property for $10,800. I need a counsel.
Make a motion to introduce ordinance number 0-19-32 on first reading by title and to order the same to be published in the 524 issue of the Asbury Park Press, together with notice of its introduction and passage on first reading by title, and that it will be further considered for final passage after public hearing at a meeting of the Township Council to be held on 6/11/19 at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time in the municipal building.
Second.
Title of ordinance, ordinance authorizing the acquisition of lands from Monmouth Conservation Foundation for open space in the Township of Howell, known as Block 51, Lot 36.04, Van Schoik property, approximately 4 acres on Preventorium Road. Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes. Is there any unfinished business? The budget.
Yes, we have a resolution to adopt the 2019 municipal budget.
Well, at this point, I think that we should table this as well, since Councilman Russo is not here.
I would second that.
I'm sorry, who was my first?
Mayor.
You passed.
I can't.
You shouldn't.
I can't. So you could be,
I'll make the motion to table the budget to the next meeting.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
No.
Mayor Berger?
yes. Okay, for information purposes, the municipal offices will be closed on Monday, May 27th in observance for Memorial Day. And primary election Tuesday, June 4th. The polls open at 6 a.m. through 8 p.m. Thank you all for coming, and I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day and has a wonderful Memorial Day weekend.
Could we just go over the time for the Farmingdale Memorial Day program, and then
Please.
what we offer, and of course, Howell Township takes part in the parade. So
Yes.
Farmingdale is, Howell Township, we do 11 o'clock at the old Preventorium, and then you're welcome to go to Farmingdale to do the memorial service there, and then Farmingdale holds their annual parade. Thank you.
Thank you.
We received an application for a place-to-place transfer of a liquor license.
Oh,
There
I'm
was an
so
objection
sorry.
to that transfer, so according to state law, we have to set it down for a hearing. The parties will be briefing council as to their legal positions on it, and then council will have the hearing at that time and date.
Forgive me, I did not, I'll read it out loud. So there's a meeting date for ABC hearing, Tuesday, June 11th, 5:30 to 6:30 here at this building.
And that's before your meeting that night? Is there a meeting that night?
Yes, there is. The meeting will begin at 6:30 for executive and 7:30 for regular session.
So the residents are not going to be able to have anything to do or say about this? It's all going to be done with plans?
It'll be here at 5:30.
Public.
That is a public hearing. So you can come in and say whatever you choose. I would entertain a motion to end the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
Roll call, Mr. Bonovich?
Yes.
Ms. Richmond?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor O'Donnell?
Yes.
Mayor Berger?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for coming, everyone.